Hey guys, welcome to Herding Little Cows. Today is October 16th, 17th. I don't know what the date is. It is Thursday. So he was born Sunday night. So he is just over 4 days old. He was born at 5 o'clock in the evening on Sunday night. So this is little Malachi John. And we are happy to be home. This was our second full day home, except we didn't get to stay home. We had to go to the hospital today for a well baby check, our local hospital. I stayed for a little less than 48 hours, and then you go back 2 days later and they do vitals on mom and they do vitals on baby to make sure everyone's growing well. So my blood pressure was good, my temperature was good. I don't remember my numbers. Baby was born, Malachi was born at 8 pounds. Before we left the hospital, he was 7'8", and he's already back up to 7'12", so he's doing well. Last night he slept for like 4.5 hours, and I had to wake him up to nurse. Excuse me. I had to wake him up to nurse him because I wanted to make sure that he wasn't losing too much weight and have to go to the doctor or anything like that. But he had still gained, so that was good. And they checked his bilirubin level, and he was 10.3. They wanted under 11, so that was still okay, but we're going to work on some extra nursing and getting out in the sun tomorrow so that we can help with those numbers. But it was something they weren't worried about. We don't have to go in for a recheck or anything. We will see the doctor next week for his just well baby checkup at the pediatrician's office. So it's a very nice service that the hospital offers to have that 2-day check-in. I was able to ask any questions. I didn't have any, but it's where you can ask questions about mom's recovery or any baby care that you might not know or have trouble with, or the feeding problems. There's the lactation consultant is one of the ladies who does the appointments. So it's a very nice service, and we enjoyed going over today. We ran into one of the med students. There have been 2 med students in the area. Katie, who delivered him the other day, was one of them, and the other one, did that make you smile? And the other one was a guy named Jasper, who had been in our centering class. He had come and would help with the baby the tummy checks of doing the Doppler and things like that. And he was doing rounds of the hospital today with one of the pediatricians, so he got to see the baby. So that was fun. And what else? So that was our check today, and that was all that happened. We had a big storm last night, what they considered a nor'easter, even though we got no snow. We got a ton of rain and a ton of wind, and there was a lot of power outages here. So these videos that we're making, we're hoping to be a ministry opportunity to share some stuff we know about large families and adjusting to baby and stuff, but they're also going to be nice in the future to just look back and see what happened in our family so many years ago. So these are like little updates. So anyway, today I was just going to mention about how important it is to take time to rest after you have a baby. Your body has been through a lot of trauma in a good way, but a lot of trauma. And unless you've had a baby before, you don't really understand how much is affected by all of it. But you're not going to be able to jump right back into your normal schedule. Or if you do, a few weeks from now, you're really going to regret that you jumped right back into a normal schedule. So I've heard it's very important to at least take the first 2 weeks to fully rest your body, and then 6 weeks to make sure you're still getting quite a bit of rest. So how I've been doing that, taking the rest, is I've pretty much been sitting in a recliner or on our reclining couch unless I get up to use the bathroom or do some small thing like sit at the table for a meal. I'm not trying to do all our schooling right now. I'm not helping with any of the dishes or any of the cooking. I think I put some cut up salad on my own plate the other day for the first time. I'm not doing any of the food serving and the stuff that I would normally do, which I'm a mom who likes to do all that stuff and doesn't like to burden the older kids or my husband to do those things, but they have been very helpful doing those the last couple days. Mark's been doing most of the diaper changes for the older The 2-year-old, I've been doing his, but so just taking a lot of time to sit with my feet up. I have moved outside to sit in a reclining chair in the driveway. So how I accomplished this is before I had the baby, we did a lot of prep work to get ready. So you can look back in some of our videos, but we went to the store and bought a ton of hamburger and made meals for the freezer. So I made meatballs, and we made trying to think, we made burgers. We cooked up a whole lot of hamburger meat to just be able to have for quick meals. We made taco chili, which is kind of just like taco stuff you can put on chips, or you can put in filling tortillas. Virginia had made a whole bunch of pretzels for the freezer, so they were par-baked, so all we have to do is take them out and bake them to be able to go with a meal. We had just made a ton of food beforehand, so that after the baby was born, I didn't worry about people trying to get 3 meals a day for the family, when I'm the one who primarily cooks. These guys know how to cook, but I wanted to be able to do some of this so I didn't feel so bad sitting in a chair. I'm a type of person who feels guilty if everyone else has to take on all my work. So it was something I could do. I keep seeing the girls walk by. It was something I could do to feel like I wasn't going to be putting all the burden on them after we had the baby. We also made up some new chore lists for the little ones. So in our house, we have a 16-year-old, a 12-year-old, 9-year-old, 7-year-old, 4-year-old, and a 2-year-old. And so, I don't know, 10 weeks ago or so, we made up new chore lists, so after every meal, people have it written down what they're supposed to do, and we worked on teaching the little ones to do those chores. And while the floor doesn't get perfectly swept by the 7-year-old or the 4-year-old, they love to be able to help, and it is cleaner than it was before they swept it. So we take turns during the day doing those different tasks. And so I had spent time showing them what was expected of them and working through it each day with each meal. So now the older girls can just say, oh, Abigail, it's after breakfast, you need to wash the table. And she knows where to go get the supplies and how to do that job. So that takes some of the burden off the older ones too, and make sure that the things get done every day. So like it's the 9-year-old's job to do laundry. So the little ones go collect laundry baskets, and then take them to the laundry room, and Samuel's responsible for washing and then making sure it gets in the dryer, and then we work on folding it later in the day. So again, I just wanted to point out how important it is to take the time to rest. The more you rest at this point, the better it is for your body. Through all of this, you have been doing a lot of growing this baby, but then the actual delivery part and your body losing blood and fluids and baby and all the stretching, and then your body trying to produce milk afterwards, is a really big, amazing feat that God has made your body to do. But if you don't take the time to rest now, a few weeks from now you can have problems. And I had some major problems. I know I had a sickness afterwards too, but I had major problems after the little baby. We lost Joshua. Because I wasn't taking care of myself. I was trying to make sure that the family was still having good memories on top of the bad memories we were having at the time. And I didn't take the time to rest that I should have. And another amazing thing that God does is for mom to be the one feeding the baby. I'm not saying you can never have dad get a bottle if that's what you're doing, but I breastfeed. And so I'm always the one sitting to nurse the baby. And I realized after we lost Joshua how much rest a mom gets just by sitting down every couple hours and feeding the baby. If you take that time to actually like put your feet up and drink some water and have a snack. I didn't do that. I wasn't taking time to sit down and rest every couple hours during the day, and that really didn't help the recovery of that delivery. So just another way God's planted in there for us to get the rest that we need. One thing I was going to say about the chores is because I've taught from the last couple weeks how to do their chores, I'm able to just instruct from the chair, remind people that this is what the chore list says and this is what we should do. Also, with the nursing, it's a good idea to have quick snacks on hand where you can grab something to drink and a snack and make sure that your body's getting the nutrition it needs to feed this baby. And I will try to talk about that on another video. But just taking the time to make sure you rest and putting things in place before baby comes. So looking at who's going to do cleaning in your house, who's going to do laundry, who's going to do meals. Our friend Leah set up a meal train for us, which is a great blessing. We had a meal brought tonight, which was very yummy by some friends at church, and just a way to make sure that our family's getting fed, and we were very blessed by that. So this is just a challenge to think through the things that need to get done in a day and make sure that you have care to do those, someone to do those for the first at least 2 weeks, up to 6 weeks if you can, so that you're not straining and doing more than you should be doing for your body to recover. So you can take care of this wonderful little blessing that's been given to you by God, and help your body do what it needs to do so you can be back up for your family in no time. Thanks for joining Herding Little Calves.